I'm in the basement right now with a pipe that's running up to the second floor. This pipe, it goes up all the way to the second floor, and the reason I brought it down onto this floor is because I have a joint on the pipe that I have to glue together. I already glued the top pipe to this joint. I'm gonna have to glue the bottom pipe to this joint. So the total length of this pipe is 9 feet, and if I remove it from the wall, I had to insert the top part of the pipe from the second floor into the first floor, and I had to insert the bottom part of the pipe from the basement into the first floor, and then make the connection right up here. There's a pipe here that connects up to this pipe once I push it up into the first floor wall. This is the only area I can actually glue this pipe and then push it back into the wall, so I'm going to try and do it here. I was able to pull this piece of pipe through the basement, and I would be able to put it in. But when I glue it, what I have to do is to put this up first and then glue it onto this after I put this up. If I don't do that, I won't be able to put it back once I glue it. So one of the first things you do before you glue anything is you need to deburr it. Use a deburring tool, or I'm using a file in this case. I just go around the inside edges with the file. And I do that for the outside edges too. You can even use sandpaper if you want. Just make sure all the debris comes out totally, and check the socket end to make sure it's clean. I don't know if there's any kind of solutions to clean this out, but if you do have a rag, use a rag to wipe it off. I don't like to use chemicals because I don't know how the chemicals would interact with the primer and the glue, so I prefer to leave chemicals out of the mix. Water, I guess, would be okay as long as you let it dry. I think we're ready to do the gluing. You need a lot of ventilation. This stuff is strong. Run the primer around the socket a couple of times to make sure you got good coverage. Then you run it around the pipe. Make sure you're covering all the areas with primer. The instructions on this can says, put the primer on the fitting, like the socket end, twice. I'll put it there twice. So put the glue on the pipe first, not the socket. The primer you put on the socket first. The glue you've actually put on the pipe first, because they ask you to run the glue a second time onto the pipe after you put the first coating, but for the socket you only need to do that once. You're going to put some glue over this a second time, so if you don't have areas where you covered the first time, make sure you have glue going on that. Now I'm going to do the socket end, dip it into the glue one more time. This stuff is strong too, and then you run it into the socket end. Always keep a rag, if it drips, you can wipe it off, because once it freezes on you or dries on you, you can't remove it. So I'm going to put a second coating of glue on the pipe. I'm going to have to insert this through the opening and go up. Where's that? Okay, I got it through the opening. And I'm going to have to bring this into here. Okay, bring it down and then twist it. Hold it for about 30 seconds at least. Sometimes with the glue it's kind of hard to push it down. So I'm hoping it went down enough. I think that's done it. I don't know if you could actually see it, but I think I did an okay job gluing it. Now, like all plumbing projects, when you take a permit out for this, they ask you to do a water test or an air test. I have to pressurize this once I get it all installed. And hopefully when I air test it to 5 psi, I won't have leaks. That's my hope.